one of the things I did wanted to find out is Anita Baker just recently posted something about giving you the best that I got. She gave credit to the songwriter, and she
Hmm.
said that when he brought the song, she loved it and didn't and gave him his full credit. But she highlighted something that was really shocking to those of us who are not in the music industry or songwriters. That
Yeah.
some songwriters, some established artists, would demand all of the publishing or a bigger chunk of it, just to say, look, you give me this song, I'm gonna make it popular, and then people might see you afterwards. But she gave him his fair dues. And as a writer, a songwriter yourself, what are your thoughts about what she said? But not only the fact that she says it's standard in the industry, that she could have just done what's standard, but she felt now this song is too good to take too much from this guy. What are your thoughts?
Um, I commend her. I thought I think it was a good gesture. She clearly, I don't know the nature of the relationship. Maybe she personally knew that person. I don't know. Um,
No, she said she
but it
didn't know
is
it was just a
standard.
song that came and she
Oh,
just
okay,
felt
yeah.
that
Because some
was
people
too.
are, everybody's not everybody is different in an individual. So she may have just been the person that felt like this was right to do. Everybody's not like that. It is standard to do that.
But what do you mean
You
it's
know,
standard? Because for the rest of us who aren't in the industry, what do you mean by it's standard for
I
somebody? You
mean,
wrote a song, you composed
Beyonce
it.
is Beyonce writing all the songs. We already know the rumors about Beyonce. I mean, so Beyonce, she, I mean, if Beyonce approached a songwriter um, for a song, and they don't have any hits or anything, they don't have any money, and there's the promise of possibly working with even bigger artists, wouldn't you sacrifice one of your songs to be in that position? There, it's kind of a touchy. It's not touchy, but it's just like, I don't know that it's necessarily shocking. I just don't think the general public cares. They don't care. The only people that really care are the people that are actually, songwriters and people that stand to lose something. Most people that are fans of music just care about the music. They just care about the songs they hear on the radio. I don't know that they necessarily care about the well-being of the songwriters and the people behind the scenes that are doing work too. So that's that part of it. But to the point, I'm happy that she did that, but that is kind of a standard thing. That's something I've always encountered where I have had to compromise in that way for all these promises. And it's just kind of a touchy subject for me. Um, but again, there's a lot of, when you're outside of the industry and you're looking for opportunities, there's really no real protection. There's no real protection for you. They tell you, oh, do this, do this, do that, and this will protect you. It's an illusion of that.
Oh,
So
that's writing
um
and sending it to yourself, or
yeah, all of that copyright, because if somebody wants your song, I literally had this is, and I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to get into any problems, but a person, I wrote a song for their group, and as soon as I started talking about, publishing shares and all that stuff like that, I couldn't get into contact with them. And so, I was trying to handle the business the way I was supposed to do, get a lawyer and all that other stuff like that, and had them look over the contracts and all these different things. I'm not going to go into the details, but essentially, I wanted to do a fair, fair contract and talk about publishing shares and things like that. And they basically told me that they're not paying me, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. I should be glad that I'm working in their camp. And I said, well, then you don't have my permission to use the song. And I put my foot down. I'm like, do not release the song. You haven't, I'm not signing any paperwork. And I've already copyrighted the song, by the way. So
mm,
I've done that as well. I didn't mention that. I've copyrighted the song, and they were like, no, I'm still releasing and I'm still putting out. And they released it. They put it out. And you have to realize, in the position I am, it's like, I don't have the money to fight you. Even the lawyer's like, well, we can, it's not much we can do, because the flip side of that is the album that the song was on didn't sell any units, it flopped. So there was no money to even be to get out of the situation. I don't want to go into the details. It's kind of a touchy subject, but the point I'm trying to say is that you can do all of the right things, copyright your song, you know, put it under ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, or whatever performance, rights thing. But there are situations like, remember the big Lionel Richie situation where somebody was suing him because he took their song, Hello? We all thought Lionel Richie wrote that song. And it comes out that somebody else wrote that song, and they sued and won the case. But Lionel Richie, nobody at first believed it because we knew Lionel Richie as such, he's a
Yeah.
songwriter. That
Yeah.
was his position in the Commodores. He was this great songwriter. And I don't know if it was the pressure of keeping up with that, that bar and that standard for yourself, but he
Mm.
stole someone's song literally. And, I mean, of course, we don't talk about it now. Lionel Richie's, we think of him as the guy from the 80s. But that's one example of, it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure the guy copyrighted and trusted everybody, and the song was stolen. So but like as a songwriter, we're presented with situations of promises of, you know you scratch my back, I scratch your back, kind of thing. Or if you do this for me, I can't pay you, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, but I'll put you in these conversations, or I'll keep you in mind for this. A lot of times when you're trying to get on and you get taken advantage of, and that's most artists in general, not just songwriters, producers, etc. Usually songwriters, they get paid on the back end. So a lot of times we're looking forward to getting paid on the back end after everything settles and da 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 da, because a lot of times
Mm.
our songwriters are not paid up front. um, and even recently though, and it's funny that you brought this up because Money Long, she used to be
Mm.
Priscilla Renee. She got into a big little or small little, I want to say, Instagram live beef with Keisha Cole, an R&B star from the mid 2000s. Um, she Keisha Cole had enlisted her to write a song with her, to co-write a song with her. And so at some point, Keisha Cole, I think she said to Money Long, I'm retiring from the business. So Money Long, she's a songwriter, so she got to eat. So she went on and sold the song. But somebody else is on that song too, that co-wrote the song with her, Keisha Cole. So there was a big beef about that. So like I said, there was no real protection for her. She didn't have any say in that song being sold or anything like that. So, I don't know. It's a really touchy subject, but I'm glad that Anita Baker did acknowledge that and give that songwriter an opportunity to get future jobs
Mm.
from that that high profile success. Beyonce and Neo, I think they had a big fallout because Beyonce was portraying herself as she wrote Irreplaceable. And I guess Neo, being a newer artist and wanting to, he wanted to let people know, no, I was responsible for Irreplaceable. And so he told everybody the only thing she did was do the vocal arrangements. She didn't write any of the lyrics. So, but when you look at the thing, it says lyrics written by Beyonce and Neo, and Neo's real name. So it's one of those unspoken things. It is
Oh.
standard to do that, to get it opportunities, and like I said, I've encountered that. I've had songs recorded by people and they don't come out, and it's like, when you don't the song doesn't come out, what can you do? I mean, there's,
Yeah. I
to
mean,
their eye, there's no harm, no foul.
I had heard that of Mariah Carey doing that um as well, but this was
Yeah.
back in the day, and I didn't understand. Um, because I used even when Whitney Houston, I used to know that. I was surprised that she didn't write her songs, not knowing that. Um, Even though her name might not be in the credits, but then how the points and stuff is
Right.
all
But writing your
out there.
songs has not always been the standard. I mean, most artists back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, other people brought songs to artists to sing. So that was not an unusual thing for people to not write their songs.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry, what were you
yeah,
saying about
no,
Mariah Carey though?
but no, but someone like myself back in those days, not knowing, so just assuming that you'd write your own
Hmm.
songs and being
Right.
surprised and stuff. But I guess those people like Mariah and Whitney who understood the business side realized, oh, you're making all the money, but I'm singing and I'm bringing the exposure. So I'm gonna take, even though your name would be as the writer, but you're not gonna get you're not gonna make the money as much money as I am, because if I don't lend my voice to that music, it's nothing. So they
Right.
like, yeah, taking that guy's points and stuff. But
But I also wanted to add this, 'cause I didn't get a chance to say this too. Because people will say, well, why don't you fight it and stuff? See, when you're trying to get in the industry, and you're trying to, you're just hoping that you're going to get your opportunity. You're doing a lot of favors. If, let's say, Beyonce wanted one of my songs, I don't want to say Beyonce because we've been picking on Beyonce. Let's say, Chris Brown wanted one of my songs, right? But he wanted the credit for it. You know, it's a toss up. If I give him this song, that's an opening in the door for me to work with him in the future and possibly eventually get my, because I'm, at some point I might even, depending on that deal, I might still be getting paid. He just has his name on it. But it's also other opportunities that have the potential to come out of that. So I might sacrifice that song, or I might give up that writer's credit. Now, this is not everybody. I'm not saying everybody would do this. Some people would stand, hold their ground, right?
mm,
But sometimes we go through periods of desperation where we just want it.
you
We
just want
want
to
to
get
get
in.
in. But again, if the fear of that, the other side of that, if you're challenging people, let's say, well, why didn't you sue this particular production company? Well, for one, I didn't have, at that time, I didn't have the money, the
Mm,
resources. And let's say I make a big stink about that. This production company is highly connected.
mm,
They just can make one phone call and say, hey, this guy, Omar Hudson, don't touch him. And I can't get any other placements. I can't work anywhere else. That's the kind of business you're working in. It's like that in Hollywood. It's like that in the music industry. It seems like it's everybody's, it's just so many people, but it's really a
mm,
small circle of people that are running things and are in charge of things, and people can cause serious problems for you. So when you're wondering, when certain artists, like for example, I was talking to one guy in the comment section about Cisco. Cisco, on in his solo career, he sold maybe 10 million copies of both albums combined, of his two solo albums. He
mm,
come from a multi-platinum group, um, Drew Hill. So once the whole Def Jam label deal went south and soured, why wasn't he able to sign to another record company, a major record company, with the stats and the track record and the reputation he had, as far as with
the music.
his resume?
Yeah.
When he couldn't sign anywhere because somebody clearly put the call in to say don't touch him. But then you have an artist like Tank that can barely struggle to go gold, and he has 7 or 8 albums. It's certain people that play the game and they know, okay, I'm going to sacrifice this or that so I can still be in the game to play and have opportunities. It's a lot to it, but
Yeah.
again, like I
And
said, I'm
hence,
happy that she
well,
did that.
yeah. I remember we talked about 300 Entertainment a while back and how they were able to sell their company for 300 million. I assume because Kevin Liles and Leon Cole both ran Def Jam, Def Jam South, Soul. They owned a lot of publishing, and they've sold
Right.
their publishing rights to a lot of these artists alongside of it. So it makes sense where these things are like that. But guys,
I've actually walked into the office one day of this of a production company, and the they have like a encased um album version of a song. So I come in, I'm looking around, just randomly walking around the office, and I look at this particular artist that recorded one of my songs. And I'm looking at the plaque with the album inside of it, and I'm reading the credits. It has the credits of who's wrote the song,
mm,
and it's credited to the actual artist that recorded my song. And I said, wait a minute, I wrote that song. I even copyrighted the song. I was like, I wrote this song. It's like, oh, because I don't deal with that production company. I hadn't dealt with that production company for a while. So I just was coming around just to say hello and whatever. So I hadn't really kept up with what they were doing with, you know, the stuff we were working on. So in this plaque, it's got someone else's name. And I'm like, wait a minute, you do know I wrote that song. Why is his name on there? And he was like, oh, you know what? That's a clerical error. Like we get that a lot. Oh, clerical error, or we couldn't get in contact with you.
Yeah, I learned that from
So
Mutual.
it's really frustrating. And you watch your peers. Like I said, I started the notebook, and this is what stuff I was teaching them, like to make sure this through my trial and error. I was teaching them, make sure you get everything up front, everything in writing, make sure you're keeping track of, who wrote what your share is going to be. Talk about that in the beginning. And, like I said, you watch your peers go on to do things. And like I said, but I'm very happy with what the career I've had. And, I've learned so much, and I'm talented in different ways. But the good thing that Anita gave this person is an opportunity to build a career off of that success. And hopefully, we hope that other artists do that. We've heard the horror stories with the Gene Griffey's and the different people like that take advantage of people in a powerless position. And there's no shortage of that, no shortage of predators in the industry. Some of the faces you probably see every single day on TV. I'm not going to say any names. And then, we have the people that are very, very visible, that have the reputations like the Diddy's. But then we have the other people that, like a Jay-Z, that everybody thinks, oh, he gives fair deals. Oh, he's fair. I don't know. Like I said, it's a really touchy subject for me. But I will
Yeah.
say, like, I'm very happy that she did that, and I always am inspired when I see, a major artist, give back in that way and show that type of humility to, because this
Yeah,
person made you a star. That's a big hit for her.
it was. Yeah,
But anyway,
definitely.
but
But guys,
anyway,
let us
guys, let's
know.
let us
Yeah,
know
let
what
us
you think
know.
in the. I'm not giving any names. Don't ask me. Do
Yeah,
not
yeah,
ask. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I ain't in for that kind of trouble. But yeah, like I said, definitely let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think it's fair, or do you think it's an even trade? Do you think that, hey, this is an opportunity to get started in the industry, and sometimes you gotta crack some eggs to make an omelet. I mean, these stories are to the end of time, guys. We could be here all day talking about these
Yeah,
different incidents.
and it's
So,
sad
but
too. Yeah,
it's sad, but that's the price of business. That's why you have to have
music
something about
industry
have.
business. So it's not regular business. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah. So,
yes. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and catch us on the next episode of Can We Talk R&B podcast.
all right, take care, guys.
Thanks again for watching, guys.
And before we go, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
Yeah, and also remember to turn on the notification so you can know when we have another show. But thanks again.
That too.